We understand the shareholders are relieved that we have seen this settlement being finally done. We've waited a long time to see this news develop. Yet I went to a garden centre yesterday and Roundup was still on the shelves. So what I'm wondering is this the end of this story?
So we have found, after long and tedious negotiations with a lot of uncertainty, now a way under the leadership of Ken Feinberg as a mediator, a process and a structure that will bring closure to the glyphosate litigation. And as you say, our shareholders are relieved. I think our customers, main stakeholders, and also our people in the company are relieved that we can now put this behind us and set course for the future. So, and glyphosate, of course, is going to be available going forward, both to professional farmers, which is very important because it is a systemically important product for farmers, and then also for the consumer on the back of the recent EPA ruling that glyphosate has been and continues to be a product that is safe for its intended use, and very importantly, it is not carcinogenic.
So do you think that there will have to be further financial settlements? And if so, on what scale?
Well, the frame we mentioned and announced yesterday with a range of about $10.1 to $10.9 billion covers not only the quota that we have already achieved with signed agreements with about 75% of all claims that are out there, which also includes the entire MDL leadership and almost all of the cases that would otherwise go to court over the next, let's say, 18 months to come. It also contains an allowance for the cases that yet have to be settled. We are in negotiations with virtually all of the remaining plaintiff lawyers, and we are optimistic that we will bring these negotiations to a good closure as well over the next month to come.
Yeah, you have about $1.25 billion to cover those future cancer claims. How did you get to that number? Like, how confident are you that that's really going to be the limit?
Well, we've always talked about the need to take the assessment of glyphosate and the safety of the product out of the hands of layman's juries, but bring the discussion and the conversation really back to the arena of science. And obviously, with the support of the plaintiff side, so the plaintiff lawyers who are looking after the interests of future claimants, we have agreed that there's going to be a science panel that consists out of 5 top scientists that will look at the body of science and regulatory documentation and also some real-life evidence to assess whether glyphosate is a safe product and whether it's carcinogenic. So we take great comfort in the fact that we now are back to a scientific decision and discussion, and both parties are bound by the assessment that will take a few years until they render their assessment, and then we'll take it from there. But we have a high level of comfort, also based on that overwhelming body of regulatory evidence and support around the world that has confirmed and actually reconfirmed over and over again, not only that glyphosate is a good and safe product, most importantly also that glyphosate is actually not carcinogenic.
So does that mean that you're not going to be making any ingredient changes? Can I infer that from what you're saying?
Yes. The active ingredient and the formulations are both safe for use. They do not cause cancer. There have been and there will be and continue to be available. Our farmers are in desperate need of the product, and because it's safe, there's no reason why we should withdraw or change the formula. And actually, the same holds true for consumers that are relying on the product.
Werner Baumann, this may feel like ancient history, but how much has Monsanto cost Bayer at this point?
Well, we acquired Monsanto for $63 billion, and it's not about the cost of the acquisition. It's about the benefit that we are going to bring to farmers in the next decades to come. This combination has always been predicated of the strength of both companies, in particular in the area of innovation. Bayer as a premier chemistry company with world-leading chemists, and Monsanto on the other side with the hands-down best seeds biotechnology basis, and actually also as a leading company in that field. And on top of that, the by far most advanced platform in digital agriculture. Bringing those two companies together and their foundational innovation assets will now allow us to substantially speed up the development of tailored solutions and actually to get them into the hands of farmers much earlier than we would be otherwise able. And that is the only way that we can cater to the 800 million people that still go to bed hungry every night, and the 10 billion people that will need to be fed with a healthy and good diet, in the next decades to come.
For those people, this deal may make sense, but for shareholders, I guess the question is a slightly different one. With the benefit of hindsight, do you still think it was a good deal? By the sounds of things, you do still think it is a good deal. Would you have done anything differently from a shareholder perspective, for which you have some degree of fiduciary duty?
Well, the fiduciary duty of the board of management was extensively analyzed and assessed not only by our supervisory board, but also by expert legal assessments. And we came out clear of this, and actually the entire board got a, let's say, huge vote of confidence in the recent annual shareholder meeting, with a vote of confidence that actually exceeded 90%. So I think there's no question about that vote of confidence. The combination in the businesses that we are in has made sense and continues to make sense. If you look at other industries these days, I think it is without question that running businesses in the areas of health and food, which are actually the only stores that are typically open during the times of lockdowns. So you can go to the food store, you can go to the pharmacy, and you can go to the hospital. These are the businesses we are in, and that's why we are so optimistic for the future, both for the company, for our stakeholders, and actually also for our shareholders.
In order to kind of move on from the Roundup issue, what pressure are you going to be under to maybe split up the company? There's one analyst at Liberium that talks about the longer-term innovation and pipeline and the conglomerate all having some structural issues and needing to maybe unlock some value. Give me your insights into that.
So our strategy is based on three very, very strong pillars in the areas of health and nutrition. Over the last 15 years, we have focused the company substantially actually into these areas of health and nutrition to build and run leading businesses. I think there's no question around our crop business being the by far most powerful competitor in the industry, with an innovation budget that is 1.5 times as big as the one of our next competitor. We continue to enjoy growth in our pharma business with a marketed portfolio that is maturing. We are investing heavily behind the development of a new and maturing pipeline going forward. And actually, as a matter of fact, we are also seeing a very, very strong path of recovery that our consumer health business, which was a problem child over the last few years, has been on now since Heiko Schipper joined in 2018. So with that, there's, I think, everything that we expect that portfolio to do, that we see that we can deliver against in the future, of course, always within the frame of market conditions. And with that, this is a good set of businesses to run going forward. There are many, many other industries, even without their own fault, are struggling in these days.
What is your future at this company? Herr Baumann, you have brought this company through a very difficult period, and it would have been probably unwise to make any changes with senior management as the company negotiated this massive settlement that you look as if you have now achieved. What happens next with you? Are you going to continue to lead this company, or are you going to step down? Can you give shareholders any clarity on what your thoughts on that are?
Well, as I mentioned before, the most recent AGM, it's actually not that far in your back. It's only at the end of April. You sent a strong vote of confidence to the Board of Management and also to the Supervisory Board. We see that as an endorsement of the hard work that we have been doing over the last 15 months, 2 years, or even a longer period of time. So I enjoy doing what I'm doing together with my colleagues, and relative to my future, this is a question that has to be addressed by our Supervisory Board, so I'm not the right person to talk to.